He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and the noisome pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers. Under His wings shall I trust. Under His wings shall I trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day. That's Psalms 91 verses 1 to 5. Those are the verses we're supposed to memorize this past week. Have you tried memorizing them? Please do leave it in the comment. This is going to count as a sound check. So hi there and welcome to my YouTube channel. The name is Gorata.Selaledi. Ever so excited to be here yet again on a beautiful Sunday evening. How was your weekend? How was your week? This girlie had a very eventful weekend with my little sister celebrating her 21st birthday yesterday, and also having the honor to see her graduate last week, Thursday. So for my check-in today, I'm going to do a bit of yap and just share how my first sibling, my first little sister, graduated this past Thursday. And it's a big moment for me because she had been living with us for the 3 years that she had been doing her university degree. Yes, doing her associate degree at Queen. And honestly, during that time, I think for me and my husband, there was a lot of learning that was happening there in terms of parenthood, a lot of hard conversations that I learned to have because of her being in our house. But I'm grateful. I feel like a proud mom, and I remember sharing on my statuses how I'm a proud mommy. I got to leave the house, and like I said, I'm in confinement. Did that on sorry, but like I said, I'm surprised at myself for scratching myself while I'm recording. Sorry guys. Yeah, so like I said, I got the time or the opportunity to take the morning rather, to be with her. She graduates, and I was there in the crowd shouting jubilantly, like I was a mom, and I was like, hey, that's my sister. And she looked so beautiful. She looked so bomb. I'll put a picture of her here, and here. Just 3 pictures. But something that I wanted to share as a testimony, and I shared this on my Instagram when I was driving home from the graduation, how God has been so faithful to me, my cousins. I graduated and I got a job, I think a week after our results came out. That was July, I started working. My cousin, who's the second grandchild, was studying in Buist. He graduated last year, and he had already started working even before the day of graduation. So he even had to ask for leave to go graduate, similar to me. And then my little sister, who was graduating last week, she also had the rare blessing of being able to graduate, even having had found a job before graduating, right? So she's been working since May. She had done the internship at the company that she was at, and they absorbed her, and she's been working since, and she had to take leave to go graduate. And something that we were thinking about, like when my grandmother was here the first month of my Butete, was how God has been so faithful to us and my family. God has been so faithful in that particular area, given how unemployment is rife in our country. So I'm so grateful and taking the opportunity to praise God in your hearing, publicly say that God has been so faithful to us in that particular area. And we don't take it for granted. Him having had blessed us, we do not take it for granted. And secondly, another thought that I'd had that I'd actually put in my journal to say, sometimes we have this terrible habit of spending money on people only after they die. We throw these beautiful, lavish funerals, you get beautiful outfits, you get beautiful flowers, you splurge on this particular person who has died. And I had the thought, just thinking about my little sister's birthday and how we prepared and how much money was spent. And this particularly was triggered when I went to buy her gift. And I was thinking, wait a minute, this is only this particular amount, but it's a thing of I should be able to spend as much as I want on her while she's still here, and show love and show gratitude for who she is in my life, and not wait for her, not like God forbid, when her life is no more, many years from now when she's an old lady, right? Not wait for when she's 90 something and she's being lowered in her casket to give her blessings. And I speak a word of protection over her, that she will live a long life, right? And this weekend, having had celebrated her 21st birthday, triggered that to say we need to spare no expense in treating and taking care of the people that we love, and splurging and spending on the people that we love. Don't wait until that person is no more. So that's part of my check-in, a bit heavy and a bit light. But what about you? How are you? We're in the middle of November. How are you doing with your goals? And for me personally, I really wanted to make up for last Friday's video. So I took time. I was leaning over. I took time to record my Friday video before this one because I really wanted to close the loop, to kind of, make that week complete before going into this new week. Because for me, like I shared, content creation has been my little hideaway to kind of give myself peace and solace as I go through this confinement period. So what about you? What are you working towards, and have you committed to doing it in the past week? Right? So what is it? It could be reading. If you're behind on your reading, I want to challenge you to take an hour, put your phone in the next room, and just read and enjoy that book, whatever book you're reading. Otherwise, let's get into this video. This check-in was too long, but I'm glad I did it. So we are continuing our series for November. If you are new here, welcome. I'm not sure I introduced myself in the previous clip. So welcome. The name is Gorata.Selaledi, and in the month of November, we are doing a series that I've decided to title Safe in His Presence, which is inspired by Psalms 91. And I am speaking loudly if you are a returning subscriber because I am recording with my son in the next room, or in the living room with my husband, so I am able to speak as loud as I want for today. But otherwise, we are continuing the series, and today marks the beginning of week 2, where we are going to be continuing memorizing the verse and also continuing pressing in and praying. In the past week, we were praying for ourselves and our personal lives, and as we move into week 2, we are going to be praying for our family. For me particularly, this is my favorite part of the series, if I should say, and I will be taking it extra seriously, as I'll be praying for my family, praying for my husband's family, and that's praying for all 2 sets of families, right? So for me, I'm praying for the Ranama family, that's my mom's family, and the Musingi family, which is my dad's family, and I'm going to be praying for the Selaledi family, which is my dad's family from my husband's side, and the Sisingi family, which is my mom's side from my husband's side. So before we even get to it, I want to challenge you to take a minute and sit down and write down the names of all the family members from both sets of families, right? Write down their names, and if you can, just take a minute to think about that person and think about what's on your heart concerning that person, the last thing you remember seeing or talking about, maybe when you checked in with that particular person. Write it down, right? That's going to allow us to have a bit of focus and specificity as we pray in the coming week, right? So I'm going to share the prayers that we're going to be doing throughout week 2. So I'm going to share day 8 to day 11. Yeah, day 8 to day 14. I was like, the math is not mathing. But day 8 to day 14 in terms of what we're memorizing and also what we're pressing in terms of prayer. So let's get into it. I was stressing when I was ending that clip, stressing about how I keep leaning to the side. It's just so but I'm just gonna allow myself to actually just sit like that. I'm putting my feet up and move the mic a bit closer. Yeah, so for day 8 we are going to be repeating and memorizing Psalms 91 verse 1 to 2 again. I know we memorized it in the past week, but again, and I've already memorized it. So verses 1 and 2 say, "He who dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." So secret place, under the shadow, right? So memorizing that for day 8, and we are going to be praying for our family's safety and unity. So safety and unity. And I'd want to encourage you to have and develop a habit of praying over your family before they go on a trip, praying over them as they are in that particular trip, and specifically for me as my family is currently traveling, and declaring just traveling mercies over them until they arrive, safety over your family as they leave and go to the different workplaces, safety over your family as they get onto the road, right? Because the devil, I feel, works 24/7 to try to get to them. So as we go into this week, day 8 is today on Sunday. We're praying for your family's safety, and the second part is unity. I feel the devil's one obvious tactic is to attack family, and I've seen that in my life, and I saw it and experienced it having had lived with my mom as a single parent. I saw firsthand that the devil hates the concept of family. And I want to challenge you to really think about any broken parts or brokenness that exists in your family that is stopping you from being united. I am also going to take time to think through, no families are perfect, think through the points where reconciliation is necessary, and pray that the Holy Spirit helps to bring that moment of reconciliation and unity to pass, right? So day 9, we're memorizing verse 3, which says, "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and fortress, my God, in Him will I trust." And then we are going to be praying on day 9, praying for protection from harm or illness. Praying for protection from harm or illness. And I'd want to challenge us to pray this specifically for 2024, to say God is covering your family from any harm, any illness in the year 2026. And a part of me, when I was preparing for this episode, I was thinking about how I am tempted to actually take the word protection as the thematic word for 2026 and actually take all of Psalms 91 as our reference point in terms of Bible study, and just pressing in to understand it a bit better, because we say the words, surely He will deliver you from the snare of the fowler, but what does it really mean? So I might actually do a quarter long or half year long series where I am pressing in and getting to understand Psalms 91 for myself. And if you also want to get into that, watch this space. I hope I'll be able to do it. But the word for 2026 for me, I believe, is protection, right? And then day 10, Psalms 91 verse 7 to 8, and we're praying for peace in our households. So peace in our households. I pray for myself and my small family, for my extended family, that God gives us a peace that surpasses all understanding. Not fake peace that the world gives, but the peace that He says in the Bible that He gives and has left with us. Praying and pressing in that God gives us this peace for the year 2026, peace in our finances, peace in our health, peace in our careers, peace in our dealings, peace with the lives that we're living. Peace all around. And I'd want to challenge you to stand in the gap for your family. The devil does not sleep. So why should we? So I'd want for you to go back and rededicate the times that you had decided to pray. For me, it was 9 o'clock and 6 a.m. in the morning. And I'd want to challenge you to go back and press in to actually make time to pray this coming week for your family, right? It's important. It's very important. Those prayers are going to carry your family, you're going to carry them through the year, and you're going to have so much joy and so much peace watching those prayers getting answered. And the posture that we're maintaining as we go through this series is also continually praying all of Psalms 91 over our family this coming week. So the nice thing to do is to read Psalms 91 while looking at the names that you have listed out of your family members. So day 11 to 14, you continue memorizing the verse while you're declaring protection over each family member. So going back to that list that you've made, I'd want for you to declare protection, God's divine protection over them for the year 2026. I'm going to do that personally. I'm going to put it in my journal so that I can see it when I come back to my journal a few years from now and see that God's hand was indeed over the lives of my family, and His hand of divine protection covered them through the year 2026 and into the rest of their lives. Yeah, let's get into the closing thought for this video. So coming to the end of today's video, I'm excited that I was able to record. If you see my Faith Friday drop, you'll see that I started in a hurry because I was losing daylight, and I also wanted to go back to my son. So I am excited that I am done. I am gonna set up in our room and get him and put him down nicely while he sleeps. I'm gonna edit my videos and put them out. See how much joy I get just talking about that. Crazy. Anyways, I hope that this video has blessed you, and if you are also trying to memorize Psalms 91, please do share a video of yourself reciting it and tag me on Instagram at Gorata.Selaledi. And I did something on my TikTok. Please do check it out. Just search Gorata.Selaledi. I was actually singing the song I sang at the intro. I hope I'll be able to layer it over the video that I did where I was faffing. Anyways, I pray that may God's favor locate you and may His grace sustain you as you live out this new week. Be blessed and see you next Sunday.